Welcome to the Jamaica Funk Show with KT on Spreaker.com. Well, Irie Mon.
What's up, guys? How are you all? And welcome to the Jamaica Funk Show. I'm KT, I'm your host. And tonight we got a great show for you. We got Black History Wednesday. Yes, it is. It is Black History Wednesday, and I am looking forward to honoring our honoree tonight. As a matter of fact, tonight we will be honoring none other than the Godfather of Soul himself, Mr. James Brown. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to playing some music, some sweet reggae music with a touch of soul for you. I got some poetry, I got some reset, and I got me, whatever that's supposed to mean. But I'm here with you, and I'm ready to take care of you. So I want you to sit back, relax, grab that last piece of jerk chicken and whatever it is that you're eating and drinking, and let's get ready for some show now. Mama, shut your mouth. Reggae music. Well, Irie Mon.
Dedicate to all women and the place to speak up for yourself. Man, the man them know say that the party pop extra puff and rough. Shots man and rave on this one. New brand bound to come number one. Watch it.
And you feel big up. All of the woman them big up. All of the girl them big up. All of the woman them big up. Whoa.
See me now. Batty cock up, titty nipple stand up. Beers, favor Apache full of peer makeup when she walk on street. I would up a man big them up. Big up. Got your fat on your bob, gal, your fat on your bob expensive and put your one in the ear and just big up. Y'all if your fat and your buff and know you come, but put your one in the ear and just big up. Y'all if your fat and your buff another virgin plump and put your one in the ear and just big up. Y'all if your fat and your buff and your buff out up and put your one in the ear and just big up. Say what? Jump and skin out cause you know say you're sexy. Shout it out cause you have the winery. Ball it out your big thick and healthy. The rock you have a money cost only for money. Your hairstyle man it look well fancy. Tell you all of them say you have your man already. Your face don't look like the overnight monkey. It not paint up just like a party. Come take it from the one named Shaggy. Tell the world you big thick and healthy. Fat and your buff expensive and rough and put your one in the ear and just big up. Girl if you're fat and your buff and know you come first, put your one in the ear and just big up. Girl if you're fat and your buff and you wap out up and put your one in the ear and just big up.
Well, I don't want no man tell me woman no noise, hey. And I don't want no man tell me woman no sweet, hey. Don't want no man tell me woman no nice, woman no nice. Don't want no man tell me woman no sweet, hey. Well, if you big up, now your pum shot, big up, your body lick shot, big up, now your cat man suit, big up, mini skirt look cute.
So me say Brooklyn man help me big them up and Marvally man help me big them up and New York man help me big them up and Flatbush massive help me big them up and big up yourself because you fat and you buff y'all big up. Tell them say that you fat and you buff y'all big up. Tell them you are the powder puff y'all big up. Tell them you expensive and rough y'all big up. Tell them say that you come post y'all big up. Tell them say I'm the virgin fuck y'all you fat and you buff expensive and rough and put your one in the ear and just big up. Y'all if you fat and you buff and know you come post put your one in the ear and just big up. Y'all if you fat and you buff and you wap out up and put your one in the ear and just psych. But it cock up, titty nipple stand up. Beers, favor Apache full of peer makeup and shit. Walk on street with a man big them up. Big up, because you fat and you buff. Shags man, girl, man, she fat and she buff. Rave and gal, man, she fat and she buff.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hey, and me don't want no man say your favor Godzilla. Oh, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Hey, and me don't know King Kong wife, she no your body lick shot. Big up, now your Catwoman suit. Big up, boy.
False pretender. Stop pretending. I hope you receive the love I'm sending. Watch this.
Ain't no use pretending you don't feel the way I do.
Check it.
With this message that your body's sending, I can tell you want it too. Well, do you wanna hide the way you feel inside? It's too late to turn back now. Every little touch, it means so much. So girl, just let me show you why. Your body can't lie to me, 'cause I know just what you need.
Understand.
Your body can't lie to me, 'cause you're in need of some sexual
Me have the remedy for the act, me have the remedy for the brain, me have the agony for the body to make your toto like a train. Remedy for the act, me have the remedy for the, me have the agony for the body to make your toto like a train. Extreme love that you cannot complain. I'm the only man, you don't stop call me name. I'm like the blood circulating by pain. If it's shabba, you just allow me.
My caresses take you places where you've never been before. To the edge of your desire,
I'm coming
where
at you.
you want it more and more. What do you wanna fight? Turn out the light. Come, let's make tonight the night.
More than
There's no
a
resisting. Love is insistent. Come, let's make it right tonight.
So, me have the remedy for your heart, me have the remedy for your brain, me have the agony for your body to make your toto like a train. Remedy for your heart, me have the remedy for your brain, have the agony for your body to make your toto like a. I'm the doctor, not a heartbreaker. Cha-la-la-ling, I'm a love maker. For loving, I'm not a shaper. Tell them, because she a the woman and me a the man, and she's like a patient in the doctor's hand. It's like a computer social program. Oh, tell the world she want a loving man.
Nobody can lie to me, 'cause I know just what you're needing. Nobody can lie to me, 'cause you're in need of some sexual healing. Hey,
I don't know what it's meaning.
whoa, 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 whoa. But do you wanna hide the way you feel inside? It's too late to turn back now. Every little touch, it means so much. So girl, just let me show you how. Hey,
Yo, check this. You can't hide from your feelings. Kick at this. You can't chase it down. Me have the remedy for your heart, me have the remedy for your brain, me have the agony for your body to make your toto like a train. Remedy for your heart, me have the remedy for your brain, the lover.
From the very first time I laid my eyes on you, my heart says follow through. But I know now that I'm way down on your line. But the wait and feel is fine. So don't treat me like a puppet on a string, 'cause I know how to do my thing. Don't talk to me as if you think I'm done. I wanna know when you're gonna come. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. If summer is here and I'm still waiting here, been 3 years since I've knocked on your door, and I still can knock some more. Ooh, boy, is it feasible? I wanna know now, for I to knock some more. You see, in life I know there's lots of grief, but your love is my relief. Tears in my eyes burn, tears in my eyes burn, while I'm waiting for your return. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain. If summer is here and I'm still waiting here, if winter is here, you know I'm still waiting there. Yeah. If summer is here and I'm still waiting here, if winter is here, you know I'm still waiting there.
Wickedness and grace, man.
From them crime. Kai kai kwenko kuf kaf kai.
Look how easy me bust your head. Waterhouse. Boy get one shot and run and drop. Be a big everything man knock. Them receive everything man clap and chop up like chicken back.
When some boy a send friggin' shot at them grave man digging that 12 gauge sprinkled on them skin like chicken pox. Me have to say why you killing pops.
Them know me I'm a dead long time, and my friend them a tell me them for dead long time too.
Them a forgot them a fish shed long time, and me rifle shot up pop them neck like shed one time.
Grimy life man live from an a kid, and me no take no talk when no than a give. When me rifle select a one man a live, any boy try fi run a stop on a fridge.
Kuf kaf kwenko kai kai ko. Kuf kaf kwenko kai kai ko. When me hide you them can't find you. A kuf kaf kwenko kai kai.
When police and soldier can't find you, a miller and money study binds you. Me guns them is all that I know. A cook up when go kai kai. One shot and run and drop. Be a big everything man knock. Them receive everything man clap and chop up like chicken back.
When some boy a send friggin' shot at them grave man digging that 12 gauge sprinkled on them skin like chicken pox. Me have to say why you killing pops. Them fi know some man a sci-fi and rolling the bus na little pie pie. Me say kuf kaf kwenko kai kai. The way the wickedness increase we make the poor cry.
Them say them but them tell them what's lie. Jungle is swaggy them friend a close eye. Anyone you see with the rifle close by. Boy dead them coulda pray to the most high.
Kuf kaf kwenko kai kai ko. Kuf kaf kwenko kai kai ko. When me hide you them can't find you. A kuf kaf kwenko kai kai.
When police and soldier can't find you, a miller and money study binds you. Me guns them is all that I know. A kuf kaf when go kai kai. Boy get one shot and run and drop. Be a big everything man knock. Them receive everything man clap and chop up like chicken back.
When some boy a send friggin' shot at them grave man digging that 12 gauge sprinkled on them skin like chicken pox. Me have to say why you killing pops. Them fi know some man a sci-fi and rolling the bus na little pie pie. Me say kuf kaf kwenko kai kai. The way the wickedness increase we make the poor cry.
Them say them but them tell them what's lie. Jungle is swaggy them friend a close eye. Anyone you see with the rifle close by, boy, let them coulda pray to the Most High. Yeah, those are. What do I do? What do I say?
From them crime. Kai kai kwenko. Uka kai 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 why we kai kum kai kum. Yeah, been sitting here, baby. I've been waiting on you, baby. I've been keeping my cool, taking it smooth, watching all the guys manufacturing lies. Now I know it's time to break away from the crowd. You and me ought to be alone, far away from the loud, where our voices are the only sound. Oh, could you be that person? Yeah, be that person I'd wanna be with, I'd give my last for. Hey, will you be that person? Be that person. Please make it happen. Give me profile once again. Break away, one and one. The introduction to a part of me that's little known. You'll fit just right in my humble home. No restriction, you'll be free to do. I'm giving me to you. So could you be that person? Yeah, be the person I'd wanna be with, I'd give my last for. Yeah, will you be that person? Yeah, be that person. Oh, you can make it happen. Give me profile once again. As far as I'm concerned, I've waited long, now it's my turn. Oh, what a waiting, yeah. Are you relating? Now will you be that person? Yeah, be that person. Make it happen. Give me profile once again. Break away from the crowd. You and me ought to be alone. Far away from the loud, where our voices are the only sound. Oh, will you be that person? Yeah, be that person. I'd wanna be with, I'd give my last for. Yeah, will you be that person? Yeah, be that person. You can make it happen. Give me profile once again. Be that person, yeah. Be that person. Make it happen. Give me something in my life. Oh, make it happen.
and you'll never let me down.
James Brown, the Godfather of Soul, whose career spanned more than 50 years and who influenced the evolution of rap, funk, and disco, died early Christmas morning 2006 in an Atlanta hospital. He was 73. Brown, who had been admitted to Emory Crawford Long Hospital on Saturday for treatment of pneumonia, died at about 1:45 a.m. Monday of pneumonia and congestive heart failure. According to his agent, Frank Casadas of Intrigue Music, the music legend, known for exhausting touring schedules and sweat-drenched, hard-charging live shows, had seemed to be on the mends at first, even telling people he planned to be on stage in New York at New Year's Eve at B.B. King's nightclub. Brown's long string of hits tells only part of the story of why he mattered so much in R&B and pop music. Among his hits were Papa Got a Brand New Bag, Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine, and I Got the Feeling, I Got You. The rest of the story has to do with his drive, his inexhaustible power, and reinventing himself as his indelible impact on other performers and pop music of many varieties. Performers as Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Prince, Public Enemy, and many others. Brown's music influenced their unique styles. He was an innovator, he was an emancipator, and he was an originator, Little Richard said to MSNBC. Rap music, all that stuff, came from James Brown. The Reverend L. Sharpton said Brown made soul music world music. What Brown was to music in terms of soul, hip-hop, rap, and all that is what Bach was to classical music. This guy was literally changed the music industry. Brown was born May 3rd, 1933 in Barnesville, South Carolina, but was abandoned by his mother at age 4. 2 years later, his father was taken to Georgia, to Augusta, Georgia, where he went to live with his great aunt in a brothel. The boy learned how to keep up by doing chores, dancing for change from passing troop convoys from near Fort Jordan. At 15, he was arrested for breaking into cars and was sentenced to 3.5 years at a Georgia Juvenile Training Institute. During a baseball game between inmates and local players, Brown met a gospel singer named Bobby Bird, whose family agreed to take Brown in and help him find a job to secure his release from reform. Brown began performing with Bird's gospel group and got a job at a local garage. Brown and Bird formed a friendship and a professional relationship that would last for the next 50 years. After seeing the performance by Little Richard, the group left the gospel behind and renamed themselves the Flames, and later the Famous Flames. The group recorded a song called Please, Please, Please at a radio station, WIBB, and it caught the attention of a talent scout, Ralph Bass, who signed the group to King Records. The song was released in 1956 and sold 1 million copies. Little Richard continued to play a role in Brown's rise to the top. In 1957, when Little Richard bolted from the pop music to become a preacher, Brown not only finished his tour, but also picked up some members from his backup band. A year later, the group released Try Me, which would become Brown's first #1 hit. Brown was already well on his way to earning the nickname as the hardest working man in show business, with dazzling live shows marked by spectacular sets and costumes, and even more spectacular moves from the pompadour singer whose raspy voice soared into ear-splitting screams. On stage, Brown was a whirl of sweat, sound, and energy, his feet flipping and sliding and circling before his whole body dropped down to a split and bounced back up. Brown wanted to capture the power of those live shows on record, but King record owner Cy Nathan wouldn't go for it. So Brown put up the money himself to create Live at the Apollo in 1962. The album went on to hold a spot on the pop charts for 14 weeks and is still considered one of the greatest albums ever made. Brown swears vocals and on-stage pyrotechnics suddenly made performers like Ray Charles look like old hats. In the sweet soul music, Brown was riding a rocket that would carry him through the 60s with the greatest hits of his long career. Night Train, 1962. It's a Man's World, 1966. To Get Up in 1970. Brown recalled the impact of his 1968 hit, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. In 2003 interview with the Associated Press, Brown said, I clearly remember we were calling ourselves colored, and after the song, we were calling ourselves black, he said. The song showed even people that to this day, lyrics and music and a song can change society. Because of the increasing complexity of his politics, it was almost inevitable that Brown would get caught up in the turbulence of the time. While on one hand, Say It Loud spoke to a rising Black Power movement, Brown released a patriotic America Is My Home that same year, which made him a target for criticism by the very people who rallied to the lyrics of Say It Loud. Although his greatest chart-dominating days were behind him by the 70s, Brown continued to have scattered hits throughout his career, including Get on the Good Foot in 1972, The Payback in 1974, Living in America, the theme song from Rocky IV, which reached #4 on the Billboard's Hot 100 chart in January of 1986. And on the other hand, there was Brown's effort to move into the disco market with the 1979 album, The Original Disco Man, which made it only to 152 on the album chart. Despite the poor sales of that album, Brown was back in the public consciousness a year later, thanks to a show-stopping cameo in The Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. In 1986, he was a member of the first class of inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. He received a Grammy for Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, and in 1965, Living in America in 1987, and a Lifetime Achievement honor from the Academy in 1992. He also was honored by the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2001 and the Rhythm and Blues Foundation Pioneer Award in 1993 and was a Kennedy Center honoree in 2003. While Brown lived large, he also lived hard. He was in and out of trouble throughout his life. He was arrested multiple times on drug and firearm charges, including in 1988, arrest after he led police on a high-speed chase. He was sentenced to 6-year term in December of that year for a number of offenses, including assault and drug possession. He was paroled in 1991. His personal life was no less tumultuous. His third wife, Adrienne Louise Brown, had him arrested several times for abuse. The pair fought and reconciled many times before her death in 1996. Recently, Brown participated in a Keeping Score multimedia program with San Francisco Symphony music director Michael Tilson Thompson that is to air, or that had aired in 2007. Brown is survived by his wife, Tommy Ray Heine, and his son, James Brown Jr., as well as 3 other children. Some of James Brown's biggest hits in 1956, Please, 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 1959, Try Me, 1961, Bewildered, 1962, Night Train, 1965, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, 1965 again, I Got You, I Feel Good, 1966, It's a Man's World, in 1967, Cold Sweat Part 1, 1968, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud Part 1, 1970, Get Up, I Feel Like Being Like a Sex Machine, 1971, Make It Funky, 1974, Payback, 1976, Get Up Off of That Thing, 1985, Living in America, 1988, Static Park. And that was James Brown. So guys, we're going to get back to some more music, but let's take a minute for a station identification break. Well, Irie Mon.
You're listening to the Jamaica Funk Show with KT on iHeart Radio. Well, Irie Mon.
There's always that one person that will always have your heart. You never see it coming 'cause you're blinded from the start. Know that you're that one for me. It's clear for everyone to see. Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta rock and wait in this one. Oh, come on.
See, I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And it's the only way we know how to rock. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And it's the only way we know how to rock.
Do you remember, girl? I was the one who gave you your first kiss. 'Cause I remember, girl, I was the one who said, put your lips like this. Even before all the fame and people screaming your name. Girl, I was there, and you were my baby. It started when we were younger, you were mine. Now another brother's taking over, but it's still in your eyes. Even though we used to argue, it's alright. It's alright, girl, that's alright. I know we haven't seen each other in a while, but you will always
Yes, I remember, boy, the moment I knew you were the one I could spend my life with. Even before all the famous people screaming your name, I was there, and you were my baby.
It started when we were younger. You were mine.
You were mine.
Now another brother's taking over, but it's still in your eyes. My boo. Even though we used to argue, it's alright.
It's alright, it's okay.
We haven't seen each other in a while, but you will always be mine. When we were younger,
You were mine. When I see you from time to time, I just feel like
in your eyes.
and you can see it no matter how I try to hide.
It's alright now. It's okay.
You know there's another.
We haven't seen each other.
My life.
You will always be mine.
Oh,
My boo.
my oh, my oh, my oh, my oh, my boo.
It started when we were younger. You were mine. Now another brother's taking over, but it's still in your eyes. Even though we used to argue, it's alright. It's okay. We haven't seen each other in a while, but you will
Bring it back. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And it's the only way we know how to rock. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And it's the only
He played the most romantic songs my ears ever heard. I mean, they stirred in me emotions I didn't know I had, or maybe I just hadn't felt them in a long while. Every word of every song resonated in me an emotion that drew me closer to him. And I just knew that by the time he played that final crescendo of his love's melody, that all he would have to do is rise from his seat, hold out his hand to mine, and draw me close to him, where all I had to do was inhale his scent. And it wouldn't matter if it was brute or cool water. By the time he plays that final love song, I would be his. The melodies of love and affection, the never-ending choruses of how much his desire for me is only overshadowed by how much he admired how I handled myself, my life, how I was the only woman who made him want to be a better man, not just for himself, but for me too, and all that I am. And that one phrase moved me to my soul. The rhythms of the music make my body sway back and forth and side to side. And if I let myself go, I can just feel him at the very edges of my body, using his fingers to skim and manipulate the peripheral of my skin and the trim and the rim of my villi. I start to know as my imagination moves closer to the reality of us, what love will be like with him. His music sends me down a rabbit trail of romance, and I can see what love will be with him and me and the music. And then the songs are over, my eyes are open, and I'm just playing solitaire, and the DJ is moving to the commercial break.
Well, guys, we have come to that part in the show where, wow, we went through some time here. I just want to say that we're at the end of our road, and it's time for us to go. And when you're having such a good time, all of a sudden, time run out on you. So, I just want to say thank you to each and every last one of you for joining me this evening for Black History Wednesday. Don't forget to listen in tomorrow evening at 8:15 for Reggae Dancehall Party, so that we can jam together and unwind for the weekend. So until then, without you, there is no us. And with that, well, I remind.
Cartel and Pharrell for real. Rockaware apparel for real. Girlfriend, your friends and you full up a sex appeal. You have the best fur texture feel. Now listen, Kim, Karen, Nicole or Cecile. Now come in love for you in time will reveal. Me I go make you wear a ring like Shaquille O'Neal. Keep it real with me and I'll keep it real, you know. Don't be fooled by my glitter and my fame, girl. Cause it's you that I really wanna share my name, yeah. My name, yo, hey, a lot of we hear wedding bells in my ear. Reception in Spain, honeymoon in Zaire. Me need you to breathe by the end of this year. Wait for you, girl, for me, brighten my world for me. This isn't comedy like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Serious when me tell you some love and me care. True, and if you're willing for share, double king size bed there with the linen for tear.
Don't be fooled by my glitter and my fame, girl. Cause it's you that I really wanna share my name, yeah. My name, yo, hey. A lot of girls come and go with the hype, but to me you mean more than just one night.
Forever,
yo.
forever, forever.
One night.
Timeless.
Know that I'm carrying on, never mind if I'm showing off.
But you,
I was just fronting. You know I want you, babe.
right away.
Ready to bet it on, unless you don't care at all. But you know I want you. You should stop fronting.
Watch the remix now. Let me tell you something, I need you, mama. I did a really dumb thing to bring you drama. I was just fronting without the glamour. Rock away, Sean John, Dolce Gabbana. I'm the real though, are you me or not? Are you a make me think to call the wedding planner? And even if you see me with Dana, just remember there is no other. Wow! Don't be fooled by my glitter and my fame, girl. Cause it's you that I really wanna share my name, yeah. My name, yo, hey. A lot of girls come and go with the hype, but to me you mean more than just one night, yo. One night.
I know that I'm carrying on, never mind if I'm showing off. I was just fronting. You know I want you, babe. I'm ready to bet it on, unless you don't care at all. But you know I want you. You should stop fronting, babe.
Oh, girl, I really never mean to front.
Never meant.
I know you probably think I'm drunk, but I'm just being blunt. You know we don't play no stunts.
Straight up.
I really never mean to front. I know you probably feel I'm drunk, but I'm just being blunt.
Believe me,
You know we don't play no stunts.
I need you in my life. Timeless, timeless, timeless.
You're listening to the Jamaica Funk Show with KT. Well, Irie Mon.